everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Sabrina and I'm back with another Excel tutorial. In this tutorial, I'm going to be going through two different text functions called TEXTJOIN and TEXTSPLIT. Now, we're going to make a start with the function called TEXTJOIN. This function basically allows you to combine text from multiple ranges. And it also allows you to include a delimiter that you can specify, which will be entered between each text value that you combine. Now, the delimiter can be a character that you choose. So it can be basically a comma, a full stop, or a space, okay? Now, if you look at my spreadsheet, you can see I've got a list of different city names. So each city is basically in its own row. And I want to combine all of the city names into one cell. So I want to do that in column B, which is here. And as you can see, I've merged all the cells so that it's just one cell. And I want the combined cities to be entered in this particular cell here. Okay, so what you would do is you would type equal text join. So that's the name of the function. You would then type open bracket, and then you would start typing the arguments. So if you look at the bottom there, you can see that the function has been suggested and I can see the arguments required. So the first one is the delimiter. Now, the delimiter can be a character that you specify, which will separate your text values. Okay, so I want to separate my city names with a comma. So if it's a character that you're using as a delimiter, you need to put that in between double quotes. So you would enter a quotation mark, you would then enter the comma, which is the delimiter. And I'm now going to just put a space in as well. So I'm going to enter a space and then put my quotation mark to close that. All right, so that's my delimiter done. So my delimiter is actually a comma and a space. All right, now you would put another comma in to go on to the next argument. And if you look at the bottom here, the next argument is ignore empty cells. So you've got two options. You either select true or you either select false. True is if you want to ignore any empty cells. And false, you would select if you want to include the empty cells. Okay, now I don't really have any empty cells there, so it doesn't really apply to me. But even if I did, I would want it to ignore empty cells for me. So I'm going to just double click into true. Okay, so you can just double click into there, or you can just type the word true in there. You would then put another comma. Okay, and now if you look at the arguments at the bottom, it's now asking you to enter the text one by one that you want to combine. Now, you don't have to select each cell to combine the text. You can just select the whole range. So what you would do is just click on the first cell. So click and hold on the first cell and then drag your mouse down to select the other cells. Okay, so you can now see that it's entered the cell range for me. So it will combine all the text in this cell range. Now you would close your bracket because we're now done with our function. And then you would press the enter key on your keyboard. And there you go. So I can now see that all of my city names have been combined into one cell for me. Okay, and you can see the delimiter there. Each city name is basically separated by a comma and a space. All right, so that's text join, which can be quite handy to use. Now, the other function is called text split. Now, this is basically the opposite. So say you had a list of all the city names like this, okay, but you wanted to separate the city names into rows. Okay, so you can separate the city names in individual rows, or you could even do it in individual columns as well. Okay, so you have both options. Now I want to separate the city names into individual rows. Okay, so to do that, I can use the function called TEXTSPLIT. So what you would do there is you would type equal TEXTSPLIT. Okay, and you can see at the bottom it tells you that this function will split the text into rows or columns using delimiters. So you would again type open bracket, and then you can start filling in your arguments. So the first argument is the text. Okay, so this is where you need to select a cell that has the text that you want to split. Okay, so for me, it's this cell here, this one here, which has all the text in it. So I'm just going to select that cell. Okay, and it would input the cell reference number for me there. Okay, you would then type another comma. Now it's asking you column delimiter. Okay, and the next argument after that is the row delimiter. Now here you need to decide, do you want to split your text into columns, or do you want to split your text into rows? Now if you remember, I said I want to split my text into rows, right? So I'm going to ignore the column delimiter argument, so I'm just going to put another comma in to move on to the next argument. Okay, so that moves me into the row delimiter argument. So the row delimiter is basically the text or the character that marks the point where you want to spill the text down rows. So if you look at my text, okay, the character is basically the comma and the space, okay? So that's the text, or those are the characters that marks the point. So it's at this point here where I want to spill the text down into individual rows. So you would just put that character or those characters in between double quotes. So you would again put a quotation mark. You would then enter a comma and then a space, okay, because the row delimiter is basically comma and a space. That's how it's been that's how the city names have been separated, okay. And then you would put another quotation mark to close that, okay. So that's row delimiter. And then you would close your brackets, because now that completes the function. And when you press the enter key, what I would expect to see is that it would put all of my city names and split them into rows. So when you press enter, there you go. Okay, it's basically split all the city names into individual rows. All right, so that's how you can use a text split function to split your text into columns or rows. Now, I did do a video on how to use the text to column wizard, which does basically the same thing. It allows you to split text into columns or rows, so you can use that method as well. If you missed that video, you can click on the link above to watch that video. All right, or you can just use this function. I prefer using the function. Okay, so I hope that's helped. If it's been useful, please do like and share the video, and do consider subscribing so that you don't miss out on any new videos. All right, guys, as always, thank you for watching my video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you. Bye-bye.